Get started. Just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out to the 23-24 Sand Relocation Program meeting. Just give a quick rundown of kind of what the program is and go over some rules, go over what the dune management cost share program is, kind of what we expect the process would be of, applying, doing the site visit, the final inspections, and then how we turn in the credit. And then obviously we have a lot of contractors here, so we can keep our contractor list up to date that we send out when people ask who does these jobs. So just background, when the applications do start, give me about 3 to 4 days to kind of set up, because I'm sure come November 1st when these open, it's gonna be a lot of people that want to get this done. I mean, a lot of wind we've had recently. It's gonna be piled up. If there's anything major, the cama miners, if you're trying to build a deck, a walkover, or do a little bit more clearing, if you're out of the area, you're gonna need a cama miner. That's gonna be more probably Chris Tremblay. That's gonna give him up to 2 weeks to process that. So yeah, as I said, it's authorized, tied through our cama major permit with the beach nourishment. It's only for clearing, structures, gazebos, pool fences. It's just to get the sand off of that. It's not for dropping the top of the dune down to make it so people can see better. It's, can't drop them flat. The sand's got to stay on the beach. It can't be hauled away. It can't be taken to, it's got to stay in the system, so on the ocean side, on the beach. So either the homeowner or contractor can fill out the application. Just if you're a contractor, just please make sure, we have the job. We had a couple incidents last year where rental companies applied and then owner applied, so had to make some extra phone calls, but just make sure that the job is secure before. If you need me to meet you out there, that's perfectly fine as well. I'll gladly come do a pre-site visit with you and walk through. That way we can make sure everything is doable that the homeowner wants done. Quick phone call, that's fine. Just make sure when we do apply that you're the one that has the job, so we don't run into multiple people having the job and trying to figure out who's getting the money. So when you do the application, obviously you'll get the letter for the authorization letter. I know most of you who did it last year got the emails, signed them back to me. Just if you need them, and if you'd rather have them on paper in person, just also let me know that. I'll gladly print the letter out, have you sign it. Just make sure you keep the copy with you to do the work. That way you're authorized. Let's see, walk through, yeah. So I'm trying to keep. So obviously, just kind of put a copy of what the application looked like. So for some of the homeowners and other people that are new to this, it's what we kind of expect. Just basic information, property address, the homeowner's name, where they're from. Who the contractor is going to be doing the work, the amount of area and volume of the sand we're going to be moving, what you plan on doing for stabilization, whether it's sand fence or beach grass or the sea oats or any kind of vegetation. Anything over 1,000 square foot area or 2,700 cubic yard volume of sand is required for stabilization. Whether it's planting or sand fencing. It's a mandatory thing. It's going to be on your letter that way, and it's something we won't be able to finalize the permits unless it is stabilized. So and then when part of the application, a site plan is required. So just kind of need a rough of what you're moving, how much you're moving, where it's going, property lines. That way we know, hey, you're staying within this person's property. We don't want to go over and have people move sand again after it's already been moved once. So you can have 6 foot around any hardened structure. That's walkway, gazebos, pool fences, houses. You can do 6 foot off of those, and then for walkways you can go a foot below the girder. Again, like I said, it's limited excavation, obviously foot below. You just no lowering the dune. Unfortunately, I'm sure contractors have been asked this plenty of times. It's just not something we're going to be able to approve at all. It's not set by us. That comes down from CAMA. The dune shape, it stays the way it goes. So here's just some examples of what, you're going to be running into. Obviously, a lot of these are in South Nags Head and just from Bonnet Street south where the program covers. You can pull. Come on in, guys. If you're contractors, if you can just sign in on the table for me right there. Just find an open seat wherever you want or wherever you can. But yeah, just I got some examples of what we ran into last year with some of the sand and the buildup of it. And this is some examples of kind of what we don't like to see. Obviously, as you can see, in the one, somebody went a little above and beyond what. How y'all doing? If y'all can sign in for y'all can sign in for me too, then we can keep. Cause I know y'all are contractors. If you can keep up the list for me. But as you can see, like at the bottom left picture is somebody went a little overzealous with moving of the sand and went across 3 or 4 different properties, dropped the dune. Obviously, that's something we want to really avoid. The bottom right, kind of with the red circle, as the pamphlet on the table shows, it's a little more of the sand fencing, what we're looking for. If it's too tight, people can't get through, and then obviously from like the turtle aspect, turtles could get caught in that, people could get caught in it. It's kind of hard for people to access the beach at that point. And then the bigger top right picture, obviously, if you are moving sand, please do your best to keep it clean when going to the beach. Obviously, I know some things get caught, but if you move sand and then see debris on the beach, if you could grab that or grab it before you move it, we would greatly appreciate it. So yeah, just some more examples. Obviously, you can see the stairs on the right one are pretty covered. You can pull it back off of there 6 foot, and then let it kind of fall back down and do a natural like 3-to-1 slope. And then obviously, yes, just wanted to give a couple different examples of what we kind of run into and what to expect.
So you're saying 6 foot from the walkways?
So yeah, you can do 6 foot off of either side. Obviously, with some of them, like if they have stairs, like some of these, if the stairs are buried, you can kind of come off the stairs, but digging up the stairs is not really going to be an option. And this is kind of, like I said, I wanted to show this one because it is, the sand fence is how we would like to really have it. It's at the 45-degree angle. They're over 7 foot apart. They're at the bottom, 10 foot off the toe of the dune. It's has a perfect walkway for people to get through. If the turtle gets up that far, it has enough room for them to get up there and nest and then get back down. And here's the conditions for doing the work. Obviously, no beach pushing, no pushing the whole dune down, no dropping it. It's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. I understand. People want to get in, get early. Gotta respect the time limits. Thankfully, don't have much of an issue with that. But if there is, it's something we will have to, stop you from doing the job for until the time to start, and then obviously, they want you out of the beach by 5. Obviously, keep the dune disturbance to a minimum if you can. Anything that's like, any vegetation that's been disrupted, we would like that to be planted back, and just try to keep it as maintained as possible, like to natural slope as possible. So I'm sure y'all gonna get tired of hearing this stuff from me already. Obviously, sand stays in the system, can't be hauled away. It's, obviously, again, no lowering the dune. I know we've been hammering that since the start. It's gonna be something that we get. I'm sure you'll get asked a lot as contractors, or it's gonna be one of those things where it's just not gonna happen. You can have, so moving the sand, you can go from 30 feet from the median high tide mark. Obviously, that kind of comes and goes. That's going to be assessed by each job, but you can have 30 foot towards the house as far down the beach as you can go. Again, like I said, anything over 1,000 square foot or 2,700 cubic yards is going to require some sort of stabilization, whether it's sand, beach grass, sea oats, sand fencing, and then obviously anything over vegetation disturbance of 20 square feet, it's going to have to be planted back. Here's a little bit more on the sand fencing. The sand fencing is in the little packet on the table as well. If anybody didn't get any, if we run out, I can always definitely send you the link to it or print out more. But yes, 10 foot from the dune toe, 7 foot spacing. You get a maximum of 10 sections, and they're 45-degree angle to the ocean. We don't want any more than 2 rows going towards the beach on the west side of the dune. You know, you can put more, but east side of the dune, only 2 rows. And if they get covered up, you know, you can stack up on top of each other, but you know, no more than those 2. For sprigging, you know, you can do American beach grass. Like I said, sea oats. Beach grass is going to be more cool weather. Sea oats is going to be a little warmer. You know, it can be fertilized. You know, it's 1.4 pounds for 1,000 square foot. A lot of that's in that pamphlet as well. I don't want to kind of bore y'all with a bunch of numbers and you know, like that. We can, if you need nurseries to get the plants, you know, we have a list of those on our website that I'll gladly forward as well. Just, you know, like I said, my card's on the table. Any of these links and things you might need, just let me know and I can get them to you. Obviously, violations or penalties, like I said, get caught dropping a dune or breaking any of the rules, you know, there is, depending on the severity of the violation, you know, it's going to be, you know, could go into us having to turn it into CAMA, which that's a whole different ball game of how they handle things. You know, 3 is we can go ahead and remove you from the list and not recommend, you know, send the list out when people ask for contractors. Could end up going to penalty or to fines at a certain point, depending on the severity. It's just, you know, follow the rules are pretty easy. I don't think we ask too much of people, but like to keep them, just keep everybody working together. So obviously, actually I did mess up on that date. So November 1st is gonna be the opening for the permits. So not the 2nd, I'll need to fix that actually. And then, so what we're gonna do is start taking permits the 1st, that way I can set up site visits, do the walkthrough with the contractor, and then, you know, get them approved, but work cannot start until the 15th. 8:30 on the 15th, you can start moving sand as long as you have the approval letter signed and back to me. It will take applications until April 15th of 2024. All work must be completed and off the beach by April 30th. That's when our turtle moratorium starts, is May 1st. So no more sprigging can happen afterward, but no sand moved after April 30th. Obviously, like I said earlier, Bonnet Street beach access to the south town limits is where this program falls under. If you're outside, if you have a client outside of that area, we can do it as a CAMA minor permit. That just takes a little bit more time to process and a little more paperwork. Now we're gonna go, so this I think this really picked up last year. So we're gonna go into a little more explanation. So we started the Dune grant. It is town funded. It helps kind of offset the cost of doing this process, as the board recognized it's not the cheapest thing, but it is a necessary thing to do. So you can get up to $3,500 for relocation and stabilization. It helps cover, I said, the moving. It helps cover the materials of stabilization and the labor. So you can get, but if you do get the money, the stabilization is required, just like it is if you do what we call level D, which is over the 1,000 square foot and over the 27 cubic foot. You would just need, there's a link on our website that has everything you need, the W-9. We would just need an invoice, a paid invoice, and a canceled check, and then I just want to make sure I got everything. Yes, you gotta have the address. I think we need to have your name, and then whoever is paying, whoever's name is on the check is who's getting the money. So if you have like an LLC, or if it's a group of people, whoever paid the money is who the check is getting back to on the W-9. Whoever filled out the W-9 and sends the check in, that's who we're reimbursing. But it does have to be paid first, and then obviously fill out the W-9, get us and it does have to be finalized. If it's not stabilized, or anything like, and the relocation hasn't been finalized, we can't get you your money back.
Is that per house?
Yes, ma'am. It's per parcel. But so and I'm gonna add this before we go on. June 25th, 24 is gonna be the deadline of have everything submitted. After that, we can't refund anybody due to physical year closing. So that's like our budget. We need to have that closed out by then. And then it has to. The $3,500 is available every 3 years. So if you got it this year, it'd be, 2026 before you could get the full amount again. You can get $1,000 every year for stabilization. So if you, move it, and you can get up to $1,000 to help repay for more sand fence, more sprigging. And that, again, will still cover materials and labor. Like I said earlier, all sand projects are required to have a final inspection. Just give me a call whenever you're done. Come out and get the final pictures. We'll get it closed out, and you can, submit your bill or however y'all want to handle that as well on the contractor side. Like I said, authorization needs to be applied by April 15th, and then all the work needs to be done and finalized by April 30th. As you know, a lot of contractors are here tonight, so town maintains a list for some of the homeowners. The town maintains a list. It's on our website. Gladly reach out to me or Kelly B here or anybody else. We can forward you the list. Obviously this was a training opportunity to update everybody on the rules and what we expect, so that everybody that's on that list is going to be in here sitting through this presentation. Let's see, we can send that out. Just ask me whenever. We cannot make a specific recommendation, but obviously everybody on there has been through this said training. And obviously Kelly B and I both have our cards on the table back here, but there's our main planning department number, and then our direct numbers and our emails.